Well, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Neverything, a podcast about nothing and everything. I'm your host, Steven. And again, this is the third episode. Welcome back. I have had a pretty good last week so far. We just did an episode with my dad. I hope you all check that out. But this week, sadly, I am alone. So we will try to power through this one again. So, how we say in every week, it's been a crazy week so far. Tomorrow is Sunday, going to be the 19th of this year. Uh, Supposedly TikTok is going to be banned. What a crazy thing. I am personally not on it. I hope that doesn't make me too much of a lame ass, but some kind of like social medias I don't really gravitate towards. A long time ago, I kind of deleted a lot of social media apps just for my mental health. I guess you could say I was soft and couldn't take it. No, honestly, it got to a point where I felt like I needed to take a step back from it and just more work on my personal life. The things that we kind of seek for attention these days is almost insane. Um, I think that's okay though if you're looking out there and trying to grow an audience. Like this, for instance, it's been pretty hard. I had to actually start new social media like pages and make posts about this podcast to hopefully grow it and get more people into it. I hope it's slowly getting out there. I just kind of like post it and leave it. I've been trying to mainly work on more of the editing side and getting the idea of the sound down better so everybody can hear this a lot better. So this past week I did a recording with my dad. Actually went pretty good so far. We had fun, talked a lot about his past and some other things that I thought I said that we wouldn't talk about on this podcast, but we got into it, and that's okay. I feel like with this podcast, with different guests, we are going to get into their personal journeys and their personal like backgrounds and things that they're into, and that's okay. I just don't want this podcast to be about a specific topic, and I'm going to try to keep it that way. I want to keep it open. I want to keep it just fun. Um, so back to it again. Like I said, it's been definitely a hard thing. That, like I said, this is my third week so far getting into it and recording, and it definitely is a hard thing not to keep on like a topic before or add little segments to keep this going. I'm just trying to free ball it here. I think this has been a journey, and it's been very interesting that sitting in front of a microphone and just kind of blurting out what comes out of my mind next has been kind of fun. It is random. I think it has no real direction, and I kind of like that. Maybe just because that's the artist in me, and that I think it's just really cool. So have a lot of things going on this weekend. Sorry if you're not into it, but I'm a little bit of a sports fan. We have playoffs this week with football. Yay. I mean, today I'm recording, they had two games. We had, I guess, Chiefs in Houston and then Detroit and Washington playing today. I'm, like I said, I'm a fan, but I don't really watch it crazily like some people do. I don't let my life gravitate around it. It's just something to kind of burn the time. I guess everybody picks up a hobby just to let the time go by, so you're not sitting around and doing nothing. I was trying to work on getting a guest, but it didn't really fall through, and that's okay. Like I said, I try to work on just doing it myself, and that seems to be working okay so far. I But hopefully next weekend for sure I'll have a guest on here. I'm not going to say who. I kind of want to keep it a surprise so far. I think it'd be a pretty fun podcast. It's someone that I'm friends with. I'll at least tell you that, give you that hint, and someone that I definitely enjoy being around, have a really good friendship with. I quit my job this week. That has I think kind of been affecting me a little bit just with this and kind of like having some kind of schedule right now. I've been staying at home and actually putting in applications. I do have an interview on Monday. Fingers crossed that goes well. It's a pretty well paying job, but it is hard work, and I'm okay with that. I'm somebody that doesn't mind hard work as long as the pay definitely shows what I'm doing. It is going to be interesting to be interviewing. Like I said, I'm 34, and interviewing around when you in your older ages kind of feel like you have to go out there a little bit more, and you don't want to push anybody out from getting a job, especially people that need it. But at the same time, I need it. But like I said, I'm positive that it's going to go well. I'm keeping a very positive manifestation about like this job and that I will get it. I'm for sure that I will land this job, and I think a lot of people should have that mindset about things that they want to happen in their lives. It's very hard to stay positive for sure about the unknowing, and it's okay that sometimes the plans don't fall through. I think that helps you kind of grow some more of your like character or your personable being about you, and hopefully it makes you stronger. At first, when I had jobs that I didn't get, I definitely got in the mindset of like this dreaming, like very dreamy aspect of getting a job. That I would get the job and I save up money, get my own place, and everything would fall into place after that. And when I didn't get the job, the reality set in of like I'm not doing anything with my life for sure. And that's definitely a very harsh mindset to have on your emotions and to keep you from going and want to get more jobs. But at the moment, I can't rely on chilling back and hopefully everything falling into place because I know for sure that's not going to happen and I need to get a new job pretty soon. Things you got to keep up with the bills and personable things, things that I'm into buying for myself just to enjoy myself. I I am been so into these last couple of days of not getting up and going to work though. It is pretty easy to get back in that lazy chill mindset and not want to do anything. It is so relaxing almost. I wish there was a way you could make money off of it, but if that was the case, everybody would do it. And I I wish I honestly had something in my life that could easily make money, but I know in the reality or my mind situation, I'm never really comfortable for too long. I always got to keep moving. I got to keep doing something. It's something I guess I eventually got into when I was in like my late teens and early 20s is that I know I couldn't just kind of like forget about life and sit back and do nothing. It is kind of a very hard lifestyle for me. I wasn't fortunately financially great with my money. My parents, sadly, even though they were both hardworking, didn't have a big savings to where one of their kids out of the three of us could just chill back and do nothing and not worry about the outside life. It's, I think, a lot of people's situations that they want to strive to and get to. I think a lot of people have that mindset of wanting to like almost do nothing and have some kind of comfortability in their life. These days, it's very hard to do that. I see a lot of people talk about, just in general, like prices of things and how we can't afford it. And it's kind of a crazy situation how we've been set up with this. It is definitely hard for people to go to school, buy a house, have a kid, buy simple groceries, or even buy something for themselves to feel some kind of happiness. I hope that changes soon. But the world is pretty bleak. It is kind of set up for. I don't want to be like somebody that has to blame or put the blame on this, but it is definitely set up for a lot of people that have power or luckily enough financially stable or rich in that term. It's very hard to define that word these days. Like, I think when people hear rich, they immediately think of everybody that has a net game over $1 billion. We kind of forgot that sometimes it's good to be emotionally rich or personally like rich just with your mindset and being someone that could stay on track and be focused on what you're doing with your life. It's a pretty hard topic to kind of really talk about because I feel like even at my age, I still don't know a lot. I don't think I'll ever figure it out. Maybe when I'm getting older in my 60s, 70s, that eventually this answer will solve itself and then I'll see what it's all for. But it is a difficult situation to see right now. And like I was saying, I see a lot of videos or posts, general things online where everybody is kind of feeling the same way, where they don't know what they're doing and what the end game is going to be. It is a topic I feel people need to be reassured about. I kind of remember going through therapy, is that my therapist would just say, take it one day at a time because you're too focused on way far down the line and you're trying to get there when the thing right in front of you needs to be fixed first. And it's a very easy thing to get lost upon that thing that's down the line. Very easy to not focus what's on front of you because it is that like finish line or goal that we want to get to and have that like comfortability in general. It's a hard thing to grasp, and like I said, I do hope everyone eventually gets there one day. I even thought about today. I did some cleaning today. I just personally wanted to clean my room and kind of get rid of the dust, clear the crud, and I found a box that was actually filled with some books. It's something that has kind of intrigued me. I feel like it's reading was something that kept my brain just processing and kept it fresh. I used to be into a lot of poetry or Chuck Palahniuk for reasons. He writes some pretty interesting out there books. Uh, the books I found, nothing I really wanted to read, and I'm not trying to use that as an excuse. It's just I want to get into some stuff that I generally enjoy. I've been wanting to get into back into Charles Bukowski or Niche, Dune for just the movie got me so interested that I wanted to read the book. So hopefully I can get that down. I do have some pages saved. Eventually, hopefully, like I said, to get this job and I can save some money and order some books because I would like to get back into reading. I think reading is a. I don't know if it's still a lost art because we do a lot of reading on our phone. I don't know if it's still a big popular thing just in general with people, just because a lot of things are easier to get from our personal phones and easy to download and to read and things like that. I do remember at one point I downloaded Art of War on my phone and I had the reading version and the version that would had the voice reading the book for you and I would listen to it at night. Um, it's something like I said, I would hope that it can refresh my brain and open everything back up and I would have this like rejuvenation. I definitely feel like my brain as of lately has these problems remembering certain words or like how to correlate certain sentences. So hopefully we get there. Also, I have recently downloaded Duolingo. Hey, yeah. I've just picked a random language out of nowhere. So I'm learning Russian right now. I guess I'm not too particular. I'm learning like the most basic Russian. I know privet so far, and that means hello, and a means I'm. So I'm definitely at the beginning, and hopefully I can learn a few sentences and stuff because it'd be an interesting language to learn. I would want to eventually move on, hopefully learn some Mandarin, German, Italian. It seems like some interesting language to learn. Maybe French down the line. We're gonna take it one day at a time. I don't want to rush myself and overload my brain and eventually just like, no, forget this. You ever get like in those moments where you want to do so many things at once and then you kind of over like burn yourself out and you're like, I'm not doing any of this. I'm just going back to my regular scheduled mindset of not doing anything. It's a fun thing though. I guess at this point Duolingo it was kind of a very jokey meme thing, but it is kind of helped me out a little bit with understanding and trying to remember how certain words look or sound. It it is something that is helping me like rejuvenate the mind using my brain, and I feel like a lot of people do keep up with their mental awareness or health or knowledge. I feel like I'm somebody that kind of gave up on it especially when I was going through a lot of my mental depression time, just because I felt like I gave up on myself in general. And that's a very easy thing to do, that you don't want to do just anything that helps you progress in your life. You just feel like you're hopeless and that you don't want to help yourself. And that's something I do I used to do a lot, for sure. I feel like now that I'm trying to catch up, and I have to remind myself though not to completely rush in, because I feel I have that still like that bad habit of, if I don't if I'm not too happy with it, then I might give up on it. And I'm kind of working on that as well, cuz like something like this for instance, I enjoy doing it. I think it's fun to sit here and record and kind of talk about the nonsense of life and the things that I'm up to and the world is up to, and I don't want to give that up. I feel like this is definitely an outlet for me that has helped me tremendously to keep up with something on a scheduled time. I usually do this every weekend. It's my open time to really be able to sit down and do this. I mean, I guess right now do have a lot of open time, but God, I hope I get that job for sure. It would be awesome. I'm not gonna say the job, but they want to start around like it was $22 or $24 an hour, and my God, that sounds so awesome. Working like 5 days a week, just 8 to 10 hours, making good money, and yeah, I might have to honestly sweat my balls off and break my back, but I'm okay with that because I kind of do keep up with myself. I I've been staying in the gym lately and keeping up with my body and strength and keep my body limber, just making sure that I'm not going to completely give out any day now. I can't. It's kind of crazy. Like I was talking earlier, I feel like even at my age, I can't give up now. I can't fold over and hope for like a very simple job to come my way and that they pay awesomely, because usually a lot of simple jobs don't. I also applied to like very retail places that are kind of laid back, a little bit chill, where you're not really interacting so much with a lot of people, maybe here and there every few 30 to 45 minutes, but nothing as crazy as working on a floor and moving constantly. And I'm trying to break out of that shell again. I feel my body is something that wants to keep working hard until like eventually I can't. And I know that's a sad thing to say. I know a lot of people tell you don't burn yourself often or don't hurt yourself with one job. But I feel like I want to just keep doing this until honestly I die. I don't mean to get that dark on it, but that's honestly when I'm going to stop. And some people might say that's a very sad way to look at how I want to work and kind of keep myself busy, but it's true. I don't want to miss a moment. I don't want to give up this time for nothing. Like, I do get a chance to relax and give myself a break to really kind of collect everything that happened within the last day or week or so I can actually sit back and work on it mentally. I am somebody that eventually that I gave up on sulking so much of emotions and my depression and anxiety that it's something that's still a part of me, but it kind of feel like the volume went down. It's not as turned up as it used to be. I used to be so bad off. I feel so bad for people that were in my life that were my close friends or family that even though they say that I didn't do this, I feel like when you're in a very bad emotional state, you feel like you push people away. And that I found out later that's just not the truth. It's just your depression telling you that, oh, no one wants to deal with you anymore and that the whole world's giving up on you, and that is not a true statement at all. It's sad because it's like your brain telling you that, but at the same time it's like your brain that has perceived so many different entertainment outlets, whether it be books or TV shows and movies that kind of taught you, or music that taught you, oh, that eventually nobody wants to deal with somebody that's depressed. And I know there is a boundary for everyone, and that's something you have to respect for people. But eventually, you're going to understand that there are people that want to look out for you. And I guess I'm blessed that I do have some friends and family that has stuck with it through thick, very, very thick with me. Um, but as I was saying, rejuvenating, keeping myself just this healthy state and trying to keep up with everything has been an awesome challenge for myself. And I'm glad I've given myself to this. I kind of like losing myself, and I wouldn't say a void, but it kind of feels a little bit like that, where I'm just throwing myself in an ether and just letting it go. But I still have some like hands on the controls and letting myself keep on top of things. But the depression, anxiety, or other, like I guess I deal with irritation as well, have kind of definitely feel like they're gone. They're still there, but they're gone. Um, I guess I'll tell anybody, if there's positive ways you can take that outlet of emotions and find a great way to do it, do it. I'm not saying like everybody tells you join the gym. If you're there, go join a gym. If you find yourself like writing, do that. Or if you like just going out and walking around a store and looking at stuff, I'd go do that. It's little things that you find that could help you get out of a rut every 30 minutes or an hour or so. It just takes a little bit of time to get out of bed and do that, right? So we're figuring out, other things that I've been wanting to get into. I've been thinking a lot about getting back into music shows. I would love to. I know out in, I think it's March in New Orleans, Creed is playing. And now, I know there's some Creed fans out there. That's okay, but I want to go to their show and just lose my mind and have a good time because it just seems like it would be fun. But stuff like that. I honestly miss going to music shows. I remember it's something I used to do so often, especially back in the day with friends. But even when I grew older and started finding out other venues, like of course the House of Blues, we have a Joy Theater, the Siberia. I mean, there's so many different countless venues out in New Orleans that I feel there is no end to where you can go to a music show. And it's something like I said, I honestly miss doing, because it is interesting going to see a band that you might like, and then some bands that are locally that you might get into and hear play. It's very fun to go do, and also it's a great outing to meet new people. I remember a few years ago I got to go see Calm Trues. He's a synthesizer, like EDM. I don't know, trance. It's very electronical music, and it's pretty fun. Like kind of almost listening to very new various of synth music these days. And I went by myself, and I did have a great time because I met new people and were like the same music I did, and then chilled out all night and got to go back home. I mean, I was very hungover the next day, but it was fun to go out and just do that. Right? It's an outlet that helps you kind of get out of your shell a little bit, and you get around a community or just like a scene of new people that you might meet someone that's into the same stuff that you are, and it's an awesome thing that there are people out there that are into the same things you are, and that nobody is like out there completely just opposite. There are groups of people that you might not mend with or just get along with, and that's okay. But eventually, you can meet some people that are out there and have fun with. But I really hope, like I can do that again. It would be super awesome and fun. I do just miss like live music and the sound, especially when you go see a band and their like sound person is on point. Oh gosh. I know recently too they like released the Jazz Fest lineup. It's like 50-50 so far how people feel about it. I'm kind of liking it. We have I think Pearl Jam's playing and Bryson Tiller. We got Joan Jett. There's like some really good names on there. Couple like regulars like Dave Matthews has played there a few times, and that's some people like, right? They're kind of like very Zydeco ish like genre into their music, very acoustic, but people like that. And Jazz Fest is awesome, not only because of the music, is that they have some sick food places out there. You can go try so many different things. I remember one time going to, they have these sweet potato chips, and they like slice up the sweet potatoes in like thin chip form. They fry them up and throw some powdered sugar on there, and everybody's like, "If you don't have free healthcare, why do you eat like this?" And I'm saying, if you try it, you wouldn't even care about your health. It's little things like that that where you go out there and you get to try them things, and it's something that you will remember in the back of your brain. I remember one year, oh my god, Frank Ocean played at Jazz Fest, and it's still something that replays in my brain to this day. And this was a while ago. I would say 2012, maybe. I really can't recall the year. It was somewhere around that time, though. And it was so fun. I mean, one, they had like $5 daiquiris, and I probably drank like 4 or 5 of them. So that got me on a level. And then I was with some friends, and, you know, everything else was cool. We smoked, I took a little bit of pills, and I was on one. I was right there in the front, enjoying the show, singing every song that I enjoyed from him. And he was, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say this, and I'll just leave it at that. He is one of the most attractive men I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm not, I'm not into men. But if I was, he would be the first one that I would want to talk to. He, honestly, just somebody, beautiful voice, beautiful person from, Louisiana. And it was just great to see him. Now, there were some other years I got to catch J. Cole or My Morning Jacket, Iron and Wine. It was just crazy getting to go to the festival. We had another one, Voodoo Fest. And I miss Voodoo Fest a lot. Towards the end, I know it appealed to some people, but for me, it kind of fell off. It sadly lost a lot of money, and it shrinked from what it used to be. It was in a smaller place and all this stuff. But I remember the first year I went, I got to see like Rage Against the Machine and Smashing Pumpkins. A few years later, Nine Inch Nails, Drake, Ozzy Osbourne. these crazy artists that you would never think for a second that you would be able to see, and then you spent like $200 on a weekend, $250 on a weekend ticket, and you got to see all these bands lined up. I mean, countless bands. It was like unforgettable how fun and how, I guess I'd be honest, how fucked up you can get at these shows, and just kind of lose yourself. And I honestly, like I said, I'm not somebody that's very nostalgic or wanting to get the past back, but I miss that. I miss kind of like letting go and having fun, meeting people. I guess, like I said, getting fucked up, enjoying music, eating. It's these little outings that you will have in your mind for a lifetime, that you will remember until you're older. And those are the kind of things that you live for. I mean, there's other outlets for people like that. Some people might find entertainment for movies or sports events. It's like, I remember this when this happened. It's crazy things like that have an impact on our lives. I guess that's, generally what makes us humans, is that we have these emotional connections to times that happen in our life that we will remember until we're in our deathbeds, or that we'll eventually tell our family, and they'll tell their family and tell their family. It's something that even somebody close to you, like I said, in your family, you get them into it. I remember the first time when my dad played music for me. It's something like, especially something I never heard, or when my sister threw an Incubus CD at my head. She got so upset because I was going through a heartbreak, and all I was listening to was Yellow Card, Ocean Avenue album over and over and over again. And I'm sitting on my bed, and I'm out of it, and I'm crying, and I can't get over this person. And all of a sudden, just like thwap, I feel a CD hit my head, and I'm like, ow. And she's like, please, please, just play something else. I'm tired of listening to this. It's so just dreadful and sad. You just need to listen to this. And it was Incubus Make Yourself album. It was something that quickly, and I mean quickly, drew me out of my sadness of a breakup at that time, because I was hearing music that was very different for the first time. The experimentalness of that band kind of broadened my horizon from there. And then growing up with that, eventually getting into, post hardcore or indie, different rap and hip hop, just my love for music grew. I even got to a point where I played music. I was in a band. I played guitar, a little bit of piano. I used to sing. And even growing further to where I wanted to produce, I still do. I still want to produce to this day. It would be awesome to like be able to find the money and able to open up a studio label and go travel across the country and find different artists and listen to new music. And I wouldn't be stuck to this one genre. I would want to sign different people. It would be literally a dream come true. I guess, like when I was saying earlier, there was nothing I really could land on for what I want to do. That would be the dream job. For a while, it was astronaut, and then maybe lawyer. But then, like when my love for music grew, I eventually wanted to be a studio guy and want to like learn more about the music faucets, like soundboard mixing and mastering, in different even instruments that are out there that you don't even know are, like a zhuang or a zither or a laser harp. Like, what are these things until like you see a video of someone playing it and you're completely captivated. You're speechless about something this person's playing on. It is a very interesting thing that I would hope to, like I said, one day do. But I know I'm still young, and there's the kind of things that I feel like take time. I would never say that I wouldn't do it. There's a little part of me, it's like, I don't know if you could ever do it, but I feel like in a little part of me that's saying, like, you could do this, you can get it done. So that would be a dream come true for sure. Um, I really hope everyone is okay after this week with everything that's been going on, and change the subject back to what we're talking about with the TikTok ban and people kind of moving over to a new app called Red Note. It's another app that seems like it's, kind of app from what I heard, Instagram ish. But kind of saw a lot of videos of people like losing their mind about losing this app when there are not the most positive other social media apps to go on to, but there are other ones to kind of stay in contact with your friends or make, content for people that are out there and want to keep up with that kind of entertainment in their life. It's just insane that people's livelihoods kind of depend on this. And it's kind of weird seeing in this day and age that that's something that is something people relying on. I feel like if it's like if they kind of like banned OnlyFans, like how many people would be out of a job? And that would be kind of crazy. Or if they banned YouTube, that would be insane. Twitch, you would have so many people that would have to find other outlets of revenue and things to do with their spare time, I guess. I think about it a lot how strange of an age we live now that we literally film videos of ourselves to have as a job. And I know that that's out there, been out there, I guess, since like TV or even some kind of like film production has been a thing. It's kind of insane to conceptualize that over the years that we've seen people that are new to us that aren't celebrities or people that were up and coming actors or actresses that are in our daily lives and introduce us and we get used to them and we become fans or even become supporters of these people. It's kind of crazy seeing now. I'm, somebody that has maybe a few YouTube channels I watch and a few people I support and I'm into, but I've never gotten a chance to meet. And it's just so wild to think that these people that are doing stuff like that, whether it be YouTube, Twitch, or Instagram, TikTok, and maybe an influencer that you're into, or somebody that puts their kind of like lifestyle out there, and you get used to being a fan, that they're almost like they are everyday people like you and me, and they found the ingredients that worked for them, that helped them blow up as a channel and as a person. I can only hope that happens here. Like I said, I'm not talking about the most interesting thing or the most hot topic, the breaking news, or something that is completely off the rails. I definitely would talk about that here and there. Something I'm into or something that's kind of like I've gotten into and it's blown my mind. But this is something that's supposed to be completely open and free to whatever it may be or whatever it may come. I definitely just want this, like I said, to be a show where people sit back and talk about their week or things that happened in the past growing up and things they've gotten into or possible dreams that they've missed out on. It's, I think, something that will reach an everyday audience. Every person that is living their life as a regular person in this world, just walking up and down the street, taking every little bit of time day by day. It's so interesting to me that there are people, like I said before, though, that are like that and have that outlet out there. When YouTube became a big thing when I was a little bit younger, me and my friends grabbed a camcorder and we were figuring out ways to get it hooked up to a computer and upload it on YouTube. And of course, like the first things that we were doing was just very, I guess you can say, jackass like style of videos where we wanted to go out there and just make people laugh at our like rambunctiousness and our ridiculousness of like the things that we wanted to do, things that we know for sure would have got us clicks, and slowly but surely you kind of saw that it took some kind of like production or some kind of planning to get to that point when you saw some YouTube channels blow up. It was more of not these craziness or going out of the box. Like, yeah, for sure, you had definitely a lot of fail videos of people just generally getting hurt, and people love that because they're like, oh, that's hilarious. It's not happening to me until it does happen to them, and it sucks. But eventually, that's what me and my friends would work on too. Then we eventually got into like comedy groups and writing and making an episode or doing a quick video of that was funny to us, and we would hope that people out there would get the same kind of humor and kind of crack up at it at the same time. We wanted to be noticed. We wanted to get big. When time passes though, and you see it's not so much that the video is not getting views or it's not getting likes, it's more so things happening in your life, like actually getting a physical job that you have to show up to every day, or meeting someone that you like and start dating, or for instance, maybe your mindset does change about those things, where you don't want to be on film anymore, and you kind of want to take your life more personally into your own hands, where you're not out there and everyone knows who you are. It takes a big choice to get to there, I would say. Like, even for people that do put themselves out there, because they're putting out themselves out there for billions of people to see. And that's a little bit scary. I think, like I was saying before, it does play a lot with mental health. And some people can manage that. I'm kind of a little envious. I wouldn't say like too deeply about it, that some people can just overlook the, I guess, negative comments and different things what people can perceive of you, and just get past it and keep doing what they love. And that's it's kind of very awesome thing to do. I think that's why I kind of got back out to doing this, and slowly but surely getting a little bit more sociable, because I started getting over my emotional distress and stopped kind of thinking about what everyone was thinking. I'm somebody that did that a lot when I was, in my 20s. I would say I would focus a little bit too much on what everybody was thinking, because I kind of go do on my way to make sure everybody is comfortable and everybody is feeling okay. Then, not to be selfish, I just had to draw that line and kind of be more focused on myself and what I was doing. And I feel like that's why I do this now, is just because, like I said, it doesn't really bother me if this goes nowhere. It's just like a digital footprint that I'm putting out there on the internet that maybe a person will hear and they'll enjoy. I've had some people listen to it so far and tell me, "Hey, this is actually good. You're doing decent. Don't give up." And little things like that do give me the fuel to keep getting in here and recording and not giving up on this kind of little entertainment thing for myself. And maybe that's why people want to, I guess, keep TikTok and keep that going, is because that's some form of entertainment to keep them going, to go out there in the world and give people their kind of entertainment to keep them going. That's kind of like, I guess, why we're all here, is to keep fueling one another. We are the things that make the world go round, and I hope everybody really like sees that at the end of the day, and that we all of us, like people that, say for instance, had to work to get here, or maybe for instance got lucky to be in the position that they're in, but they love the general well-being of like others and making sure their lives are going okay. Is that we're the bigger people here, and it's so easy to lose sight of that because there are more powerful people than us. There are more people that have a bigger say and have a bigger impact on life, and it's very scary, like that their voices might overpower us. But like I said, somebody for me, like I can't even think about that. I can't even roll over to that because I know, for instance, I can't control that kind of aspect of my life. I control what I do, and eventually it could be something bigger one day that I could guess be on an aspect of someone that is well known, and that would be awesome. Then again, like I said, it really doesn't matter. I feel like I just enjoy this just because I get to talk about just the general things that I'm into and the things that I'm getting into, and then I eventually have more people on here and we can talk about them and their stories. It's it's like hanging out with your friends and having a good time. And what I was saying earlier, having a memory that you can keep in your mind till forever. This is something like that. I think it's something that will kind of last forever for me. Even if the next day I don't want to do this, I know so far I've made it this far. If there's the kind of people that listen to this and you are scared, don't be afraid. Take those steps. Get out there. Be someone that you want to be, though. There's no one else better and awesome as you. And you got to prove that to yourself. You got to overlook sometimes your worst things about you. I had to, and you'll get there. I am happy that I am the person I am today. I took a lot of time, it took a lot of work, but I am here. And I don't think I'm ever going to go back to the old ways how it was. Even if I do miss little parts of like my past and things and or people that used to be there, I know for sure that it won't get better than what it is right now or what it may become. And that's something that I keep looking forward to every single day by taking it one day at a time. Well, kind of getting to a close here, and like I said, I'm trying to make these a little bit longer, especially by myself, but it does get a little difficult just running out of the general things of wanting to say, and I do kind of get a little bit exhausted. But again, I really hope everybody is going to be okay, even past this TikTok thing. The world is so easy to forget that we are a very special group of individuals around this world, and since like the internet is there to remind us that maybe sometimes that isn't the cause, maybe sometimes we are the problem, is a very harsh thing to some people out there. Some people just roll their eyes to that and don't even look at the matter and don't even care. It's okay if you care, and that's what matters, right? Is to keep working on yourself. I try to remind myself that there are beautiful things in this world that are looking forward to the next day. That even if tomorrow I wake up and everything's shit, I can come home and see my two dogs. It's little things like that that you have to remind yourself that it's not the biggest thing, but it's something. I hope I can keep working towards my dreams and you as well. The world isn't going to stop for you. And you have to accept that. You have to hold on and just keep going. Well, this has been another episode of Neverything. And again, I'm going to try hard to keep scheduling and getting people on here to definitely spread out the time a lot more and get some interesting stories where it's just not myself, even though I think I am an interesting person. But I hope everyone takes care. Thanks for listening.